Hello, welcome once again today on the Noble Show. Call a friend to tell a friend that the show has started. Today, our guest has a lot to share with us, and so I need you to stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Our guest on the show today is Miss Gayon Clarke. She is a Jamaican American and a businesswoman. She's into real estate, commodities, most of the top businesses that you can think of in the United States. Welcome, Miss Gayon, to the Noble Show.
Thank you.
You're looking awesome.
Thank you. You made it happen.
Okay, I want to try not to call you mommy because you are my godmother. So I'm just trying to control it.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the show.
Okay. I came to the United States from Jamaica at like about age 28. It was not an easy trip. I left the job because I was being sexually harassed on the job. And like in my home country, female didn't have a say then. It's not like now where you had the Me Too movement. And I literally ripped myself from a very substantive job and just wrote a letter of resignation and saying I'm going to the United States to study. That was not a part of the plan. I was on a trajectory to doing great things, but then when you're in a position wherein no one listens and it becomes a mental stress for you to even get up to go to work, then you have to do something. It's either you break and concede or you break away. Okay. And that's what I decided to do, break away and start fresh.
Okay. All right. What is one major testimony in your life as a Christian that you want to share with us today on the show?
I have many, but I will never forget in 2008, 2009, when the real estate market melted in the United States of America, and I literally have everything I owned in real estate. And the only thing that I didn't lose at that time was my mind and my faith in God. I literally lost every single thing like within 1 week. Wow. But there was a redemption for me. I remember standing in the office and I said, if I lose everything, Lord, bring down the banking system. And I stood there and watched the banking system went right under. In the end, what started happening, companies started giving me back money even though I had lost my properties. Companies started giving me back money for properties that were foreclosed on. So it's not like you're not left alone. The Lord showed me that even in my despair, He heard my cry. And there was a lot of shenanigans going on with lending back then. And we got into deals that we didn't understand properly. So pretty much, I call it the Lord deconstructing from the foundation to reconstructing you on His faith and the Word of God. Because back then it was like my abilities to do things. I can do this, I can wield this. Yes, I went to church because I've been in church from birth, but I wasn't understanding how to let the Word of God work for you. Okay. It was about my abilities and my knowledge and my experience more so than making God first and then build on top of that. And that's when I realized you cannot expect God to bless a foundation that's not on Him. Wow. Because it's like the foundation is weak and you're putting things on top of a structure that is already weak. But if you say, Lord, help me, He's going to deconstruct right down to the root and then build it up back on His Word and you having faith in Him. So that's when I learned how to truly walk with Him, how to truly put Him in charge of everything, how to make Him my CEO as a businesswoman. So I try not to do anything anymore without consulting Him first. Because sometimes we move by our ambitions and we think it's the Word of God, or we think it's God's leading, but it's just our personal ambitions. So we have to learn to dissect what is our personal ambition and what is in God's purpose for you.
Okay.
So not everything that is bad can end up bad. Okay. And not everything that comes good is really going to end up good in the end. But once you trust Him, everything that you believe in Him for will turn around for your good.
Wow.
So even your negative experience become a training ground, a wisdom builder, nuggets of how to trust him more. So you cannot just rely on you alone.
Okay.
Because no man is an island and no man stand alone, and everybody has to rely on something. Some rely on other deities, some people join fraternities, some people join orders, because this life is tough. It's either you're going to turn to God or you're going to turn to something else. It's either him or something else.
Okay.
But you always need a reinforcement. And I always say to people, I do not discount anybody who is on drugs, who is on alcohol, who is on anything to cope, because this Babylon life, it's a tough life. My drug of choice is the Most High.
So what you learned from everything that you went through, basically, is to involve God in everything that you do.
Everything, make him the first step. And what I've learned, if you start yielding, you start getting the practice of knowing when you're in right standing with him. Because when you make a decision, there's no troubling in your peace, there's no troubling in your spirit. If there's a peace, it may not be something that you want to do and you're struggling with, and you're saying, Father, why are you pushing me to do this? I don't want to do it. But the minute you do it, there's a peace that comes over you that you cannot understand, even though you didn't want to do something, but because you're doing it in accordance with his will, that peace comes. And whatever he sends you to do, trust me, he makes provisions.
Whatever God sends you to do, he makes provisions.
He makes provisions, because you have to learn the word. The word said he meets you at the point of your need.
Yeah.
So you have to understand, you are the one who sets your need level.
Okay.
So if you want it to be here, he'll meet you there. If you want it to be all the way up there, he'll meet you there. So you are the one who sets your need level with God, and he meets you at that point. But he don't sit around dreaming and not doing anything. You have to make the move first, and then he steps up to where you have put it.
Okay. That's an awesome testimony with a good lesson. Having this is what I've learned so far from your testimony.
Right.
Having a good foundation with
Yes.
God, because you said that because you didn't have a strong foundation with God,
Right.
everything
I
went
was,
off.
Mark, I was in church.
You were in church, but you
and
didn't
I was
build
baptized, but
you
I didn't build
the business on God.
my business on him. I was
Exactly.
building it on education, personal ambition, drive. But he wasn't in the mix, to be honest.
Yeah. So we need to have everything we do
100%.
with God as the main factor,
100%.
as a foundation factor.
Everything, no matter how small it seems, everything.
Okay. So we are going to go to the next segment of the show. But before we get to the next segment of your show, give me 3 of your favorite Bible scriptures.
Oh, Lord.
No, give me 2.
You want me to give you 2? I will give you many.
Okay.
The first one is something I learned between ages 3 and 4, and it's Matthew 6:26 to 32. It's a long portion of scripture.
Just give us a short portion.
All right. In essence, and you can read it, but it says, if God so takes care of the lilies of the field and the grass that's here today and set aside tomorrow, what is he going to do about you, who he sent his son to redeem back unto himself? So what that taught me, that I need not worry about anything. The one who created me and dispatched me here always have a plan. And if grass and lilies and birds of the field and air, he's taking care of all their needs. I was made in his likeness and his image. That means I'm extra special.
Yeah.
So why isn't he going to take care of me?
Okay.
So that taught me to stop worrying. And the second thing says, you know, once he becomes saved, and oh Lord, as soon as I gave my life to the Lord, everything became a mess. It says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord will deliver you from them all. So I would say it's an exercise in patience. A lot of time we want to move out of his timing, but we just have to be patiently working whatever we're doing, and he will deliver us from them all.
Okay. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord will deliver you and I from them all. We are going to move on to the next section of the show, which is the Pick Your Question segment. Stay tuned. This is the Pick Your Question segment on the Noble Show. And so, Ms. Clarke, with this segment, you're going to pick your question. Whatever question you pick is what you answer. Okay. So when you pick a question, you read it loudly for us to hear it, and then you give your answer to the question.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
Let me see which one I'm going to pick. All right. Does public opinion matter to you? Hell no.
Okay. Why?
You see, each of us are uniquely made. So why should somebody else's opinion matter? The Lord make it specific with a specific thought process, specific look in mind. And I've been one who has been always the opposite of the entire class from ever since I've been growing up. Because I believe in looking at things, if all of us are thinking the same way, what if there's a different perspective? And it doesn't matter to me whether somebody think I'm great or somebody think I'm a loser. As long as the Father is pleased with me, that's what's important to me.
Okay.
Because who set standards? My standards is based on God. It's not based on public. They're working out their own salvation too. So it doesn't matter to me one bit.
Okay, so I've taken that question out. And so you pick your next question.
Okay. What would you rather live without? What would I rather live without? Oh my gosh. I'd rather live without a husband, as long as I'm in right standing with God and I'm happy. I'm quite fine with that.
Okay. And would you like to give reasons for that? That's if you want to talk about it.
You know what? I think relationships can be very complex, and if you're called for a purpose, it can also be complex in you doing what the will of God, unless you find somebody totally in alignment with God's purpose for you. Because many people are subverted from doing God's purpose, especially female, because we know the word of God is the Lord is the head of the man, and the man is the head of the household. Mm-hmm. But we're in a dispensation, I would say, an era where many men are falling from their rightful standing, so everything is out of order. You'll find the women more being the prayerful one, seeking God's face, interceding, and then the husband, who really should be the one doing that, and then setting the tone of the spiritual tone of the family, is not doing that. So things are out of order. If you're somebody who is seeking God's face constantly, and then you have a husband who is stuck in the rum bar, how are you going to be submissive to him and expect him to support your work?
Okay.
He should be the one doing the work, and then you're supporting him, you being his easier connector. Okay. So if being in a relationship is going to take you away from your purpose, then I'm quite fine being single.
Okay. The next question.
Oh, let me see. What makes you uncomfortable? People who are not authentic. If you're not authentic to yourself and you don't even know who you are, I don't know how to trust you.
So you are uncomfortable around such people?
Yes, if you're not authentic, because I just don't know which angle you're coming from. But that's pretty much.
So how would you deal with such a person?
You just accept them for what they are, but I'm still uncomfortable with you. I don't know what to share with you. I don't know how to relate to you, because we have many chameleons in this life.
So would you stay away from them, or you
no,
find a way to relate to them?
Yes, you have to find a way to relate to every personality type, but you just know that that person, their word is never their bond, and you do not invest too much energy into people who are not authentic. Because there are people who will say one thing today and tomorrow you're totally left on your own.
Okay.
Or tomorrow you're in a lurch and you don't know who to turn to, but thank you have God. So people who are not authentic scares me.
Okay.
I find them very. I just can't.
You just can't stand them.
I love them, but I just cannot trust the process.
Oh, okay.
And I'm an open person, so what you see is what you get. And then you have to totally be cautious how you relate to somebody who cannot, you don't know who the person is even after 20 years.
Okay. So that's, you're taking your last question?
Let me see what's my last question now. I hope it's easier than the one before. When you're asked to choose between family and career, what will it be?
Since you're so much into career and also...
Well, I chose my family. That was why I stepped down from MasterCard.
Okay.
I was a mother and my daughter hardly knew me. And so the job itself was taking up a lot of hours. And then I chose her. And in choosing her, I made my career a business where I control my time. So I've done it where I choose family most times. And being a businesswoman, it's easier for me to choose. Nobody sets my time but God. And I can choose if I put clients on hold to deal with something concerning my child. Right now, I've been fired as a mother. You'll get to that stage too.
Okay.
When you get fired, when your child tell you they don't want you around,
why?
go find your own life.
Okay. Okay.
So you get
it.
fired as a mom,
Okay.
especially when you're trying to do it all, and then suddenly the child is at age, and they said, "I really don't need you this much anymore, so I don't." Cut yourself loose.
But she's
please.
a big girl now, so...
Yes, but it starts from earlier than that.
Yeah.
But as a mom, it's hard to let go.
Okay.
Even though you say it with your mouth, you still want to have some semblance of control. So that is the part of it that is I'm going through now,
Okay.
having an adult child. But that is the part of it that also is rewarding, because now you have raised a child who can stand on their own and say, "Oh, I don't need you anymore,
Okay.
go." So that's the beautiful part of it as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And as I said, push whatever you want to do to the limit.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how rough it looks like building what you're doing. Just trust God and push him to the limit.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me again.
It's been so awesome today right here on the Noble Show. I hope you have learned a lot, because I took some few tips here today. And I appreciate your time sitting behind your television to watch the show today. Thank you so much. See you same time next week. My name is Gabriela.